with Bebeda Turbo. Today we got Amazing Clockwork, featuring a new Klinklang from Silver Tempest with a triple gear ability to search your deck for 3 basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. So I'm playing this card with an amazing rare combo using Rayquaza and Kyogre to do either Amazing Burst or Surge, hitting either a OHKO against VSTAR and VMAX with Amazing Burst, or doing a full-on bench snipe with Amazing Surge. So we're only doing 80 damage to all of their Pokemon, but 80 is a lot. If you stack it, you can actually kill all of their 1-price supports on the bench with only 2 hits with Kyogre. So we are only playing 1 copy of Kyogre just because we are expecting our opponent to play Manaphy on their bench, and if they do play Manaphy, we have only 1 boss to counter that. We have no Lost City, no cancelling Cologne, so we have to be aware of that. If they play Manaphy, Kyogre is basically useless. So we are also playing 2 copy of our Rayquaza, doing a 1-hit KO against VSTAR and VMAX Pokemons with Amazing Burst, doing 80x damage for each different type of basic energy you discard from this Pokemon. You are required to discard all basic energy when you play this attack, and it's doing 80x, which is a lot. We are playing 5 different types of basic energy, up to 5, doing a maximum of 400 damage with this attack. 400 damage is enough to kill any Pokemon across the board, even a Guja V-Star with all of those damage reduction spells. We also have our 1 copy Terrakion, the new Terrakion from Silver Tempest with a Cavern Tackle attack, helping you do a special effect of preventing all damage done to this Pokemon on your opponent's next turn by all attackers. That means any attacks done to this Pokemon on your opponent's next turn is going to be nullified, is going to be equal to 0 because it has the super cool effect. But you can't actually use this attack if you used it on your last turn though. That means it has a cooldown period and you can't actually play it twice in a row. You can't use it consecutively turn after turn. You can't keep on using this attack. That means you can't keep on protecting it from damage done by your opponent's Pokemon. It only does 120 damage, but it is quite a lot. It's actually helping you buy an extra whole turn for you to charge up your next Pokemon, prepare for your next attacker. Even though you're not doing a lot of damage, but it at least helps you collect the knockout if you only are able to get 4 energy in the game. If they are playing a VMAX with 330 HP, 4 energy is not actually enough to kill them with Amazing Burst. So it actually helps you buy an extra turn before you can do your Amazing Burst, forcing your opponent to not able to collect a prize, preventing them from collecting 1 prize on that turn. It's actually giving us a very huge advantage. So this attack is actually giving us a extra whole turn to collect more prizes later on. Even against a 1 prize, is going to help us, buy time as well. So we also have a 1 copy of Ditto to do a sudden transformation to copy either Terrakion's Cavern Tackle or even Amazing Burst and Amazing Surge. Doing more times with these attacks, playing whatever attack that we want. We only are playing 1 copy though, but we do have 1 rod to shop back our Pokemons. Not many copies of our Pokemon just because we need to play a lot of energies and a lot of our stage 2 supports, rare candies and incense and all of those shit. And we also have our 3 copy of Energy Recycler to make sure we get to recycle those energy after discarding them and after having our Pokemon knocked out. We are attaching a lot of energy to our Kyogre. 4 energies gets knocked out pretty easily, and we actually have to recycle a lot of energies back into the deck constantly. That's why we're playing so many copies, 3 copies of Recycler and 1 rod. We also have our regular basic summons, our 4 copy of VIP Pass, 4 Quick Balls, 1 Level Ball, 1 Houston Heavy Ball, just because we are playing a lot of Pokemon in ones. That's why we have our Heavy Ball and 1 Great Ball, 2 Incense and 3 Ultra Balls to get our evolutions, 3 rare candies, 2 Scuba Nets and also 2 Furisode Girl. So Furisode Girl is a very powerful card just because it helps you bench your Snorlax. It searches your deck for a Snorlax, put it onto your bench and switch it with your active, and that actually helps you do Gormandize on your first turn going second, which is super cool because you get to do Gormandize with your Furisode Girl without playing a VIP Pass. If you don't get your Quick Ball, if you don't get anything else but this card, you still get to use Gormandize on your first turn. But if you go first though, we actually have our VIP Pass and Quick Ball to solve that, and also Scuba Net to help us switch into the active. If we have our Klink, that's why we're playing this only 50 HP Klink, just because it has only 1 energy retreat. The other Klink actually has a higher HP, and that actually is better just because it guards you from Sableye. So Sableye with Lost Mind is actually able to kill 2 Klinks on the bench, obviously, but if we evolve one though, the 50 HP one would be quite, risky to play if you have a Manaphy on the bench. They can actually kill for 2 prize by doing 1 Lost Mind. So 1 Lost Mind equal a Klink knockout, including, and also a Manaphy knockout, which is equivalent to a 2 prize knockout. So we can't actually offer them that if we are playing up against a Sableye. We don't actually have a choice though. That's why I prefer to play the 60 HP one, but just because we have not that many Scuba Nets now, we can't actually afford to play the 60 HP one. We now have only the 50 HP Klink, and that's okay because it helps us retreat to do Gormandize if we don't get our Furisode Girl. If we go first, we actually have to retreat for our Gormandize going, going first. We have to do that. Otherwise, we have not enough cards to draw. If we don't draw every single turn, we're done for just because we have no draw support for this deck. The only draw engine we have is Snorlax and our Radiant Venusaur. We have only 2 copies of Snorlax, and we are not able to do it that many times. So we have only 2 Marnie and 2 Bruno for the draw support as well, but we have 1 Raihan to help us get an extra energy in the game, and also to search for the rare candy evolution, 1 Serena to do either the boss effect or even to draw cards in our hand, and also to discard as well. Serena helps you discard, which could be a plus for your Ditto, because if you can't actually bench, if you can't search for Rayquaza, if you don't get your VIP, you may not actually get your quick ball for Rayquaza or even Kyogre, but you may actually get your Ditto with your level ball. If you get level ball for Ditto, you can actually bench it early, and then after that, think about playing Serena to discard your Rayquaza from your hand, so that you actually get to play that attack without having to bench your Rayquaza, because your bench may be full with your Klink and Klinklangs and all of your bench supports. You may actually be full of Pokemons that you want to be playing after that, so it may actually help you play your Ditto to do sudden transformation. And we also have our Scuba Net to help us recycle our abilities, also do the switch for our Snorlax, 1 boss to help us deal with Manaphy, 2 copies of each basic energy. I prefer playing 3 copies of my basic fighting just because Cavern Tackle requires 2 basic fighting and 1 colorless, so it's actually much more safer if you play 3 copies of your basic fighting, but we can't actually find the space, right? We need a lot of balls in this deck just to bench our basic Pokemons fast. If we don't prepare, if we don't set up fast, if we don't set up well on the first few turns in the game, we're done for just because the standard meta is super fast. We can't afford to waste the first few turns. So we need a lot of basic summons to make sure we get a good setup and we get our momentum running from the very get-go, from the very beginning of the game. We get our momentum set up, and that's actually very important. That's why we don't actually have the space for 3 copies of this basic fighting energy, even though I would prefer to have 3 copies, and I would actually recommend to swap any 1 card. If you can update this deck, I would leave you guys to upgrade it for yourself, because I prefer to have 3 copies, but I just really don't know what to replace for it. So I think that's all for the deck. We have 1 Great Ball, 2 Incense, and 3 Ultra Ball to get our evolutions, and I think that's it. And now let's go for some gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game. I have no idea who we're up against. But probably a meta deck. Oh, it's a Mew VMAX. So it's a Mew VMAX comeback. We lost to Mew VMAX for our last video, so now we're gonna win. It's a comeback. It was pretty humiliating because, if you watched our last video, we got the win condition, but we just threw the game. It's just terrible. So we're gonna do VIP pass on the first turn. We're playing a full 1 price now. No more VMAXs. We have our Rayquaza to do a 1-hit knockout, but they just got their OHKO in the game early. That means we need 400 damage to kill the Mew, or we just need a 2-hit knockout. They have no Meloetta though. Good news. That's a really big plus, because if they play Meloetta, we need our boss Serena. We do have 1 copy of each to target a Mew VMAX on the bench. If we kill 1 Mew VMAX and a Meloetta, because we are playing a full 1 price, we can eventually kill a Meloetta with possibly a double Terrakion or even a Body Slam. I don't think we can kill it though, because they have OHKO. So Body Slam is not enough. Cavern Tackle is obviously not enough because it's resistant to fighting type, so we're doing only 90 damage if it doesn't have OHKO, which is exactly enough to kill it off, but they do have OHKO on the bench, so if they play Meloetta, it's going to be a lot more difficult to win the game. We do have Venusaur to attack though, 90 damage plus the conditions, so we're doing 70 damage from OHKO's damage reduction, and then Poison and Burn is actually enough to knock out the Meloetta, so you can actually think about using your triple gear ability for not only your Snorlax Body Slam for the possible paralysis, but also your Radiant Venusaur for the special conditions. So you're doing not just 90 base damage for 2 grass and 1 colorless, you're also doing a full-on special condition assault, because they are burn, confused, and poisoned. Okay, we got double basics on the bench. 2 Klings, ready to evolve to the stage 1. Playing 2 stage 1 of the Klang is actually safer. I prefer having 2 copies just because if you have 1 Kling on the bench and 1 Klang every single turn, that's much more easy to pull off with 2 copies in the deck. If you can pull that off, You actually just need an incense to pull off the ability every single turn though. Using the ability is actually possible just because we have that many recyclers. We can keep on using the ability to re-summon those energy cards and reattach them to our new Pokemons and attack immediately after they knock out our first attacker. Our Rayquaza or even Ditto. If they do a boss, we can still attack with the same Rayquaza because we got, another Kling or Klang on the bench. If they boss your Klang though, you need to do a Rare Candy evolution. If they kill something with energy attached, because we have a lot of energies. If we attach 3 onto, for example, Terrakion this turn, we can attach 1 from our hand to prepare for our Rayquaza on the next turn. And that means if they kill the Klang, we got our Raihan. We only are playing 1 copy though, but at some point I added 2 copies of Raihan, but decided, it's not really that worth it. I prefer more recyclers in the deck just because we are trying to feature this deck off of the new Stage 2 Klinklang, which has a really cool ability that we can make full use of. So even if they do a boss, I'm pretty sure we are okay because we have a lot of Klinklangs on the bench. And for some reason, people are kind of respectful when they're playing against a one price. They kind of respect one price decks a lot. And if you're playing like a Stage 2 evolution as well, they would try to give you a slight advantage because it's kind of, the game is just not fair though, is it? If you play against Palkia VSTAR with Inteleon, they got so much searches, they can get bosses so easy. And if they boss your Klang, if you don't get a Rare Candy on the next turn, you're done for. You can't actually get enough energies to do enough damage against the Palkia. If you don't do Amazing Burst, you can't win the game. And if you don't play Rayquaza every single turn, you may not win because, even though you're drawing only 1 prize at a time, they do have Greninja. That means they are forcing you to play Manaphy, and they are also able to kill anything every single turn with bosses and Shady. So it's just madness, I think. Okay, we got the Klang. We're gonna evolve. I don't think we have a Rare Candy in our hand. So there is like... Oh, we do have a Rare Candy and an Ultra Ball. There's like a recording bar that blocks the thing. I just moved it. Sorry, guys. Furisode Girl is gonna help us get Snorlax. So I'm not sure if we want to be doing our triple gear right now or just Gormandize. I'm not sure what to discard really with the Ultra Ball. So sometimes it's better to play more Incense. I just don't know what to discard. I think for this game we only are playing 2 recyclers, so that's the reason I really don't want to discard that. So make sure you check your deck whenever you search with a VIP pass or anything that doesn't require a discard, because if you get a heavy ball, you may actually have to play it. And make sure you are aware of what cards are in the prize. If you have, like, for example, a basic Pokemon in the prize that you can get it out with heavy ball, then you don't actually have to discard it. You cannot actually afford to discard it. It's better not to discard it. Sometimes it's just it's just thinking about what decision to make. If you can make the right decisions at the right time, it goes a long way. So we're gonna Furisode Girl for a Snorlax and not do the switch, because on the next turn we can actually do Gormandize if they don't do a boss. Or are we just gonna get the Venusaur? I think it's better to get the Venusaur, honestly, because that helps us draw at least 2 cards. We're not able to do knockout this turn, obviously, because they got Oricorio. But we got 300 damage in the game at least, and that means what's it called again? Terrakion is able to not just collect the knockout on the Mew VMAX on the bench. They're probably gonna retreat, but also is gonna help us buy that extra 1 turn, forcing them to do a boss, wasting their boss just to get another extra prize. Or if they don't get it, we at least get to buy them. We at least get to stall for 1 turn before we get our next Rayquaza. So we got only 4 energies, unfortunately, and you always have to remember to attach as many different types, because if you attach the same type of basic energy, you're only doing 80x for each of the same types. If you discard 5 different types, you're doing 400. If you discard only 4 different types but 5 basic energy, you're only doing 320. So it doesn't matter how many energies you discard, it only matters the number of types of different energies. I know I keep repeating that, but it's just important. Like, the small stuff, it really, really matters. I don't know why, but this game loves to give us our recycler early. From the very start, they just love to, fill our hand with those recyclers way too early. Like, we don't need them yet, but they just keep showing up. I don't know why. It's just really annoying though, isn't it? Like, you getting all of the wrong cards early is just gonna mess you up, because if you discard it, you can't actually play it later on. You need it for when, you know, after playing Amazing Burst, you actually need to recycle those energies. And if you discard it with Serena, it's gonna destroy your hand. My bad. If you discard it with Serena, you're gonna be left with no energies. Obviously, you're gonna draw cards, and it's not gonna destroy your hand. My bad. Okay, we got our next Klinklang for, you know, if they kill the Klinklang though, it's actually pretty bad because we only have one rod to cycle it back. If we got the second stage 2 prized, we may actually need to dig for the rod. We have it in our hand right now, which is okay, but make sure you guard your stage 2 Pokemon if you can. It does have 160 HP though. If you're playing against a 1 prize, it's a little bit more difficult for them to knock it out with Lunatone or something like that. If they play a V deck, they're probably going to do a boss to kill it quite easily. So they did not target the stage 1, which is, I don't know why they did that, which is quite weird. They went for the stage 2 instead. Maybe they made a mistake, or maybe they were just being really respectful. I don't know what they're trying to do here. But anyways, if they kill all of the Klinklangs though, if we don't have the stage 2 inside the deck, if it's prized, we may not be able to do the evolution anyways. But we got it though. I'm pretty sure we got... we did the rod first because we have it in our hand. So we're not taking any chances apparently for this game. We did the rod first and then the incense for the energy. So we're gonna rod back the fighting and the lightning. Let's do the grass. I think it's safer to do the grass because we have a lightning in our hand. Or maybe we should do another type. Because the more types we have, the better, right? So I actually made a mistake for this game. We did only 220 damage right now. We should be doing as much as we can. I'm just not aware of how many energies we have in the deck. We should be checking when you play an item. We should be shuffling back a water energy, or even a grass. And then incense, always play an incense first, because that way you have a lesser chance of drawing the energy out. If you have your energies in your hand, you can't play the ability to, you know, attach from your deck, because that ability only searches your deck for energies and attach it from there. If you have them in your hand, then there's not going to be enough energy in the deck for you to attach. So unfortunately, we have to decide what to discard with Serena, and we chose to discard the energy because we thought maybe playing the recycler would get us energies with a full discard 5 draw, but we drew nothing on the next turn. We didn't, well, you know, after the supporter, my bad, on this turn, we drew nothing even before playing the, you know, even before playing the Klinklang, which is quite weird. Oh, we drew something though. Then why didn't we do it? Why didn't we do 300 damage? My bad. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job at narrating here. I don't think we attached enough to the Rayquaza. I think we chose to attach to the Terrakion. I made a mistake right here. We should have attached the water and do as much damage as we can on the Mew VMAX right now. And then collect the knockout with double Terrakion, a Ditto for another Terrakion. I mean, it would be more easy. We would need more recyclers though. Terrakion is not that easy to play because you need 2 exact fighting energies. We chose to play a fighting on the bench, which is not actually that smart, because that means Mew VMAX has a lot more HP. They can still do Psychic Leap though. Mew VMAX is just crazy, isn't it? It's just way too broken. They got Meloetta, they got like Psychic Leap. It's just insane. Now they got the Forest Steel Stone. It's impossible. Like, it's just fucking insane. So now we're gonna do our Cavern Tackle. Cavern Tackle for 120 damage. We got a boss. We got no Klinklangs on the bench, which is terrible. We're gonna have to play a Raihan though. I don't think we can do a boss. They played a Cram-O-Matic, so they can still do a boss to deal with the Terrakion. They can kill it off before we can do our Cavern Tackle. Anything can happen if you're playing a meta deck. If you're playing against the meta, they can quite easily play a Marnie, boss, whenever they like. Like seriously, whenever they like. Because they got that much draw support, that much search engines. Is just bonkers. They did the cross switcher for Klinklang because they want to end us from using the ability ever again, I guess. Which is kind of a smart strategy because once we run out of our Klinklang, we have no energy supports. That means we can't actually use any attacks after that. We got the Raihan though. I think we're playing 2 copies for this game. So we have 2 Raihans and only 2 Recycler. And we actually have Rose Tower and Training Court instead of an extra Bruno. So we only have 1 Bruno, I think. I'm not too sure about how many copies we're playing, honestly. I really am not too sure. So they're gonna kill the Klinklang right now. And they actually retreated to the 300 HP one. I don't know why they're giving us the knockout. They're just giving us on the silver platter. They just retreated to the other Mew. They could have done a retreat. Oh, they can't though. I think they did Techno Blast on the last turn. Oh, they chose not to attack. Okay, that's weird. They chose because we can't use a Raihan. If they don't attack, we can't do a Raihan. I think they were expecting us to play a Raihan. So now we're stuck because they actually chose not to attack. If we do a quick ball to discard the Rose Tower, we can't draw cards, but at least we would be able to possibly get more energies for Rayquaza. I think that would be the best play though, but we actually decided to play the Rose Tower instead because we got a rare candy. We can quite easily do Raihan to search for an incense, and then on the next turn we got another triple gear for I'm not sure if we have it though. I don't think we have any more Klinklangs. I think that's the last one. The one in the active spot is the last one. So I'm pretty sure we have no more Klinklangs inside the deck because they just knocked out the first one and now this is the second one. If we don't scoop it up right now, it's over. Oh wait, this is the first one. Okay, my bad. This is the first Klinklang. I don't know, I'm a bit confused right now. Sorry guys. So this is the first one. Apparently we did not bench that many. Oh, we played the Rod just now, didn't we? We played the Rod to shuffle back the stage 2. That means we could possibly have the other one prized. We did a quick ball. Oh, we actually did it. We did play the Klink. We did discard the Rose Tower. Preparing for a stage 2 evolution on the next turn because we got Raihan and Rare Candy with the Recycler as well. Raihan, Recycler, Rare Candy, the perfect triage. And we're going to recycle right now because we're going to prepare for Marnie. I don't think we have that many Recyclers for this game. So if they do a Marnie, we may never see our Recycler ever again. It may just never show up because we only have our supporter to get it out. We have Raihan to search for it, but Raihan is only a single search. And that means we may not get... We have Venusaur though. That means we're drawing 2 cards. We may get something from Venusaur. We got another Raihan. So we are playing 2 copies. There we go. And we have the Silver Tempest Special Rare Raihan, which is super cool. I don't think we have that in the video. Sorry, in the deck review early game. In the list. Because I got really annoyed with trying to get the best list from this deck. If you're playing a 1 prize, you don't really stand a good chance against the meta. Because meta decks have so much, like, they're just way too overpowered. They have so much advantage. They got shady dealings. They got tool cards now. They got like VSTAR tool cards. They got VSTAR power. Super high HP. It's just, I don't know. If you play 1 prize, I don't think you stand a good chance. Unless if it's like a solid strategy like Dugong or something like that. that does unlimited damage. Fast damage as well. So we're gonna do Raihan to search for a fighting energy and finish off this Mew in the active. So if they did Techno Blast on the last turn, they can't attack with the same Mew, but they can quite easily do a switch retreat though. If they retreat, they can attack with the same one, can't they? They did a cross switcher, but they did not retreat. They could have forgotten to do that, or maybe they're not aware that they could actually play Techno Blast that way. Or they could just be giving us the win. So whatever it is, I don't really care. At least we knocked out. We did Cavern Tackle, and now we're gonna get an extra turn because they are doing 0 damage to Terrakion. Unless if they do Escape Rope Boss, they're getting another extra prize. That's gonna be their ticket. They are playing Cross Switcher though, so I don't think they have that many bosses. They have Serena, one boss, and two Cross Switcher. They played all of those already. Let's hope they don't have any more switchers and boss. Heavy Ball. Here comes Meloetta. Oh, no Meloetta. If they do Psychic Leap, they can't really attack on the next turn though, can they? Well, they can evolve the next one. They can re-evolve the Mew on the bench and then, you know, double turbo all over again and then attack again. But if they don't bench the next one, they can't do Techno Blast. Because Techno Blast actually requires you to do a switch retreat. So they actually need to switch between 2 Mews every single turn. If they do Psychic Leap, they run the risk of not being able to bench the Mew back. But they have so much draw though. They got like triple Genesect for the draw, like crazy draw. I'm pretty sure they would get it back at some point. Either Quick Ball, Fog Crystal, or just the Mew directly. If they shuffle their deck. Well, they are shuffling though, aren't they? Psychic Leap actually shuffles your deck. Put it into your deck and shuffle it afterwards. So we're gonna bench another Klink. We could actually do a Furisode Girl right now. And switch something into the active, but I don't think there's any value in doing that. We should be thinking about doing that though, because we can't actually play any other supporter cards. But we chose to bench the Klink. And now we're just gonna attach 1 energy on the Rayquaza. We got training card for this game, so we have no third copy of. We don't have a third copy of the Recycler, but we do have a training card to substitute for that. Training card helps you attach from your hand, and that means you got an extra energy to do Amazing Burst for 320 damage, knocking out a VSTAR Pokemon if they are not playing Urshifus or Kyurem. The new VMAXs now has 330 HP though. 330 is a little bit more than usual, and you know, it's a little bit more difficult to kill. You need 5 energies on your Rayquaza to pull off a VMAX knockout if they do that. But as we saw, you know, as we see with this game, it's still possible to win if you do Amazing Burst for 4 energy and then Cavern Tackle, switch around those 2 attacks, or even, you know, Amazing Rayquaza can still do a snipe on the bench. If they don't have a Manaphy, you can still actually do Amazing Search after doing double burst. You can search for a double VMAX knockout, drawing 3 prizes, sorry, all 6 prizes in a single turn with your Amazing Surge. So they did Lost Vacuum. Interesting, they got Lost Vacuum and Lost City. They don't have the Forest Seal Stone though. I've seen a few people play Forest Seal Stone with Mew VMAX deck, which is pretty smart because you got that extra search. In addition to your Cram-O-Matic and your crazy Genesect draw, you can still search for an extra card with that V-Star power by attaching it to any of your V Pokemon. You can attach it to Genesect, you can attach it to your Mew VMAX. Obviously, you should be attaching to Genesect though, unless if you're doing Air Balloon. So if you do your Forest Seal Stone, play more switches, don't do Air Balloon. Because you shouldn't be attaching your the V-Star tool card to your Mew VMAX, since you want to be playing Choice Belt or Tool Jammer on your Mew VMAX, or even Big Charm. That means you should be leaving it blank until you get those cards. So we got our Klang, and we're not able to do anything this turn because I don't think we have a rare candy. Okay, we got a Raihan on the next turn. We're just gonna... what are we gonna do right now? I'm pretty sure we have a Ditto inside the deck or somewhere. So let's just dig for another Rayquaza. We got another Rayquaza. Okay, we're gonna bench it and then Incense on the next turn, or Raihan. If they do a Marnie, we will probably get the Klinklang into our hand. And if they do a boss though to knock out, I don't think they have a boss anymore because they played like double switch, like one switcher. Obviously you have to play two switcher at a time. So they got two switcher, one boss, and one Serena discarded. And that means they may not have any more bosses. Silene, there we go. No Marnie, no boss. It's over. It's over. We got Raihan. We just need an energy though. We got Incense in our hand, so we can actually Raihan for an energy. We can Raihan to search for an energy, attach from the hand, and that gives us 5 energy. We got 5 energy on Rayquaza to do 400 damage. So we can actually kill the Mew VMAX in the active, but they actually, I don't know, for some reason they just retreated to the bench. I think they're actually trying to give us the win here, which is pretty weird because normally this doesn't happen in standard meta. But they are so determined to give us the win. So they got double turbo, no fusion strike energy, which is pretty weird. No melodious echo and no fusion strike energy. So this isn't really a proper Mew VMAX win. They just retreated to the terrible one, but we're just gonna show off that we can actually do a 400 damage strike. So we are able to pull it off thanks to Raihan, and we even got an energy from our hand. Make sure you remember to attach all the different types. So I don't think we have the lightning energy inside the deck, so we should be getting a recycle. Oh, we do have it. We do have the lightning, so we're gonna get a rare candy to boast that we can actually get not just a stage by stage evolution, but also the rare candy evolution in addition to the Raihan and the basic energy. We got everything in our hand, more than enough actually to pull off a Mew VMAX with full HP knockout, even with Oricorio on the bench, because we got 400 damage right now. 400 with 5 discard. Again, it's important to note that it has to be different types, and we got a second Klinklang. If we have more types in the deck, we could actually do like 600 damage right now. Well, not 600, but you know, 500 plus damage, 560 or something like that. There we go. We got 7 energies, but we're only doing 400 minus 20, so 380 thanks to Oricorio. 380, but the reason is because we are discarding the same types, so the same types doesn't count. So essentially we are only discarding 5 instead of discarding 7. Okay, let's go for another game against I think it's I want to say Arceus VSTAR deck. I don't know what they're playing, honestly. I forgot. They have a water box and an Arceus coin. Oh, it's an Ice Rider. There we go, Ice Rider. I just remembered. Klink, Clank, and Klink Clank. Terrible name for gears. I guess it works though. We're gonna get a Rayquaza and just wait for Furisode Girl because we have no Scoop Up Net. We should be retreating with the Ditto though, but I don't think we can draw that many cards. We're not able to draw that many cards, and the reason we did that, I suppose, is to do Rare Candy on the next turn. If we do Rare Candy, we actually get to play Furisode Girl for Rayquaza. There we go. Alright, you'll see the magic happens right now. Magic is we get to play 240 damage with our Rare Candy. We got Rare Candy, Incense, well, the direct evolution in our hand. We don't need the incense. We got really lucky for this game. And if you're lucky, you can pull this off early game because we are playing 2 copies of Furisode Girl. So you can play it to get any basic Pokemon, either an attacker or a ability support that works in the active. So we're gonna get attacker for this turn. We're gonna knock out the Ice Rider before it evolves, and that's gonna give us, you know, a very big head start, because now we got 2 prize and they got nothing, no bench basic, no Ice Rider V on the bench. They gotta restart from scratch, and we got 3 of our needed energies. We're just gonna attach a grass to something on the bench, a Rayquaza on the bench, because we don't actually need it. We got a grass in our hand. We're just gonna attach it to the bench and prepare for the next one. They're probably not gonna kill the active though, so you would think, you know, you may think attaching to the active is better, but we're forced to discard everything. We're forced to discard all energies when using Amazing Burst. They don't actually give you the choice. They don't give you the option to choose how many energies you're discarding. The attack forces you to discard all basic energies. And if you attach Aurora energy, if you do like special energies, you're not doing more damage with the attack, because you're not discarding it, and it only does more damage for each discarded energy, each discarded basic energy at that. So if you play special energy, it doesn't work for your amazing Rayquaza. So don't play special energy for your amazing decks. Unless if you're doing, you know, anything other than Rayquaza, obviously. People play like Porygon Z, you know, the old card from Unbroken Bonds, for special energy to do Amazing Surge or Yveltal, which is pretty consistent, I guess. It's a meta deck, but I don't like that because it's like one-dimensional and it's like so basic. It's so basic. Okay, we're gonna do Scuba Net right now. They're gonna start from scratch. That means they can't do a boss, they can't do anything. They got only 1 Shady, no extra Sobbles on the bench. So that's really good. It's really, really good news. We got super lucky for this game. I'm actually expecting them to concede after the, you know, Ice Rider knockout, but they actually were quite determined to power through. I don't know why. Because they're playing a VMAX though, against a 1 price high damage attacker. I don't think they stand a chance. We got Rayquaza. I mean, if you are an experienced player, you should be conceding right now. Because, you know, I don't think the game is fair, because we got way too lucky, you know, on our first turn. They didn't even play a Marnie on their first. They go second and they didn't play a Marnie, and that means we actually get to pull off everything that we have in our hand. We get to use the combo. Marnie is a huge game changer though, isn't it? It totally flips the game, because you can get like the best hand to start the game off, but then 1 Marnie is gonna actually flip the whole entire game and then reset your hand. Now you have a shitty hand, you got a terrible start. How are you gonna recover from that? If you don't recover from that within the first few turns, you're done for, because the beginning of the game counts a lot, especially if they can do Starbirth, they can do shady dealings fast. You're done for. If they boss one of your, you know, something on your bench that you're trying to charge up, that you're preparing to attack with, if they boss it and deal with it like a Dialga VSTAR before you can actually do the Star Chronos, you're done for. What can you do? Obviously, Diancie is still in the game, but they can quite easily Starbirth or even Shady for an escape rope to deal with the Diancie. So Diancie is not perfect, as we all know, but we now actually have Leafy Camo Poncho, which doesn't work for second turns though. It doesn't work on basic Pokemon, so if you have it as the basic, before you evolve, they can still boss it, because it only works, that tool card only prevents your opponent, prevents all effects of your opponent's supporter cards done to your V-Star and VMAX Pokemon. So that means your V Pokemon can still get bossed. The basic can still get bossed. It has no effect until it evolves into a V-Star or a VMAX. Leafy Camo Poncho, very, very cool card. So now they're gonna search for double trainer. They got Melanie. I'm not sure if they played Melanie this turn. I forgot what they did. Okay, they did play a Melanie. Apparently they didn't get the energy on the last turn. I don't know why. They should be playing boss right now to deal with the Rayquaza on the bench. But apparently they couldn't even deal with the Rayquaza, which is like ridiculous. This is just ridiculous, isn't it? Because they got no energy on the last turn, and that means they couldn't play. They couldn't go without the Melanie. If they play Melanie, they can't do a boss, and that means they can't deal with our Rayquaza. We're gonna Raihan for that extra 1 energy and scoop up. We should be playing a Scuba Net, but we chose to play the stage 1. So we Rare Candy evolve the first one. If we scoop it up, we can't actually play our stage 1 evolution. It's safer to do the stage 1. If you have it in play, you can eventually scoop up and get a loop system going. So the loop system is when you have 1 Klink and 1 Klang, one of the basic and one of the stage 1, and that way you can Rare Candy evolve or stage 2 evolve by evolving from your hand without a Rare Candy. You don't need a Rare Candy on the next turn if they don't play a boss. If they do, then you actually need the Rare Candy, but we have 3 copies, though it's quite easy to get it out if at the time that you need it. If you have it, it's a bit safer. If you have both Klangs on the bench, it's definitely way more safer. That's the reason we're playing 2 copies. So that's the loop, right? If you have 1 Klink, 1 Klang, evolve 1 with a Rare Candy, scoop it up, and then on the next turn you got another safety. Okay, we actually finished off the game in a very weird fashion. So we weren't aware that Ice Rider is actually weak towards Metal type until the very last minute, and then we realized, why not we just do Power Beam? Power Beam to collect the knockout because Ice Rider is actually weak towards Metal, and at the last second we actually did that. We were trying so hard to get Rayquaza, but eventually we decided to go for a different strategy. So make sure you are looking at all the different aspects of a game, analyze it, from different dimensions. Don't keep thinking about it as a straightforward path. Like, this game is not that straightforward. There are a lot of different ways of winning the game. There is like an infinite number of choices for you to make every single turn. Every single decision that you make is important, and there are so many different ones that you can make every time you choose to make it. So be very careful with every single decision. If you're too careful, though, it kind of takes the fun away from the game. I get that, but sometimes you don't really have a choice. If you want to win big, obviously. Because this game is just way too tight. If you're not careful, you're out. Strike 1, you're out. Is that crazy? This game is just way too annoying. So we scooped up the second Klinklang, and we actually put it in the active, knowing that we wanted to actually pause it. Oh my goodness, we did pause the turn. I thought we were smart enough to play it. We didn't realize it, as I said. We didn't realize that we could do Power Beam to collect the knockout. Now they're gonna evolve and it's too late. For some reason they didn't get the evolution, though. I don't know why. Because they don't have the Sobble. They just benched it this turn. That means they can't actually do Shady for the Evolution Incense. And they couldn't actually evolve. So had we realized it earlier, we could have won the game a lot faster with our Power Beam. Because we are doing 260 damage, hitting the weakness against Ice Rider. So 130 multiplied by 2. 130 is a lot. Not quite enough for stage 2, though, right? But the reason it's not doing that much damage is because it has a very powerful ability. So we're gonna shuffle back the Metal Energy and get do our evolution for Power Beam. We finally realized it a bit too late. If they kill the active, though, we just need to Raihan for a Rare Candy. And then we got like 5 energy on the Rayquaza to do 400 damage on the next turn. So if they kill the Klinklang, we should be able to do Amazing Burst. If they boss the Amazing Burst, we would eventually realize that we can do Power Beam to knock out the ice. Wait, if they boss, though, we can't actually do Power Beam, right? Because the Ice Rider have already evolved. So if they evolve and do a boss, we actually need to play a Raihan on the second Rayquaza. Put in the active, obviously, after the knockout. and then play our rare candy, search for rare candy using Raihan, play rare candy for 3 more energies using Klinklang's triple gear ability for 320 damage, knocking out exactly an Ice Rider VMAX. We have the exact damage to do a VMAX knockout. For the final remaining prize, they're forcing us to do a VMAX kill. Again, Recycler on the first turn. I don't know why it loves to show up so fast. Recycler is just really annoying. It likes to just hog your hand on the first few turns. I'm pretty sure we only have 2 copies for this game as well. If you're playing 3 copies, it's understandable, but we only are playing 2 copies though. 2 copies in the game. We have 1 training card and 2 recyclers. Normally. Like for most games in this video. Eventually I decided, you know what, it's way better to have 3 recyclers, because I don't think training card has that much value. Over the experience of playing the game, a lot of times I actually had like 2 hours of videos, 2 hours worth of videos that I can share, but eventually decided to, you know what, just make it shorter. If the video is short, I actually get more views from it, so I can't afford to show way too many of my gameplays, unfortunately, if I want to get a decent amount of views. Everyone else is getting like thousands and thousands of views, and I'm just getting 500, 600. I appreciate the views though, but it's like, it's not enough. It's just not enough compared to the big YouTubers. Even Popsicle Knight, he got like so many views, and he's only been doing it like 1 year. He's been doing it only for 1 more season than I did. I think he started from Sun and Moon. Halfway through Sun and Moon, he started doing his videos, and then he became like, he blew up in Sword and Shield season. Like halfway through Sword and Shield, he blew up like crazy. I think he got like that crazy Gudra deck. It's not even that good, but whatever. Competition's tough, yo. Competition's tough. That's life, I guess. Oh my goodness. I prefer playing Pokemon Unite now. Like, I just really want to make this channel a Pokemon Unite channel. It's way less stressful. Like, Pokemon TCG is there's so much stress involved. It's so difficult to build a deck that actually works. And it's so difficult to defeat the metagame. The metagame is bulletproof now. It's so bulletproof. Palkia V-Star with Curium, there's nothing. There's virtually nothing that can defeat that. If you don't play a meta deck, you cannot defeat a Palkia V-Star. It's fucking impossible. What the actual fuck, yo? Unless if you get like super lucky. It's virtually impossible. There's no way they're gonna let you win against a Palkia. Shady Dealings, Oranguru, Curium VMAX, Radiant Greninja. Holy fucking Christ. If we get a good setup though, I'm pretty sure we can win a Palkia, because all we need to do is get a stage 2 evolution. And then get enough energy for our Rayquaza to do amazing burst. The problem with that is, after doing the stage 2 evolution, you need to immediately scoop it up. If you don't get your scoop up net after the evolution, you're done for. That's why I prefer 3 scoop up nets for this deck. But eventually I decided, you know what, we need less. We can't actually afford to play 3 scoop up nets. We need to play you know, more supporter cards, more balls to get our engine running. If we don't set up fast, we're done for. We need enough Klings on our bench to start the game. If you don't get enough Klings, you're done. So the extra level ball is for us to evolve with the Klang as well. We can do our stage 1 evolution, and that's gonna, you know, that's gonna help us in the long run, because eventually we can have that loop that I keep talking about, that, you know, evolution loop, where you have 1 Kling and 1 Klang on your bench. You can scoop it up, evolve, and have the same thing on your next turn. Over and over and over, you can keep recycling that strategy. Evolve, scoop up, evolve, evolve, scoop up, evolve. Your opponent can always do a boss, and Mew VMAX has like 4 fucking bosses. I mean, that's basically the determinant. The determinant of who's winning this game is how many boss order you have in the deck. Apparently, that's how you win the game. Just have to play 4 bosses. All you need is 4 bosses in your deck, and it's an automatic win. That's how stupid this game is. I can't stand this game. I literally just can't stand this game. Mew VMAX is way too overpowered. They got Meloetta, they got Boss, and now they got the fucking Forest Seal Stone. I don't know what to say. Obviously, you have Drapion to defeat Mew VMAX, but it's just... oh my god. I can't. Like, I just can't. If you don't play enough bosses, they just won't let you win the game. Okay, we got our amazing Surge. Sorry for complaining too much. I know I'm doing that a lot, but it's just you need to vent sometimes. If you don't, if you keep all of your feelings bottled up, you're gonna burst. You know, you're gonna burn out, and you're just gonna destroy yourself. We're gonna do amazing Surge. They got no Manaphy on the bench. Playing a Lost Box without a Manaphy. I don't think they have the space for the Manaphy. Playing so many Mirage Gate and energies. You know, they're losting cards as well. They may actually decide to lost the Manaphy. I wasn't aware what they lost it. Here comes the Sableye. Okay, Sableye is really scary because we have a 50 HP. Oh, we have a 90 HP one. So we have a Klang on the bench, which is okay because it has 90 HP. But if we bench the 51, that's the thing that I said earlier in this video. I mentioned about the 2 price draw with Sableye. If they play a Sableye right now, they can actually kill not just the Klink and deny us the stage 2 evolution on the next turn using Triple Gear's ability, but they can also knock out Manaphy at the same time for 2 prizes. The reason we're playing 2 of the 3 copies of the 50 HP one for the final upgrade though is because we can retreat to do Gormandize. Retreating on your first turn to do Gormandize is crucial because that way you actually got extra cards on your first turn. Drawing fast wins you the game because you actually need to draw fast for your Klinklang deck since you have not enough draw support. We are not playing B-Barrel, we're not playing enough supported cards. That's why I say it's that important to get your Snorlax from the very first turn. You have to do your Gormandize. If you don't, you won't be able to run through the deck fast enough to get enough, to get the right cards at the right time. Okay, we're gonna do Recycler right now. We got 4 energies back inside the deck. Apparently we're stuck. We're stuck this turn, but we do have our Power Beam to collect 1 prize on something. I don't think we can kill the Giratina even if it doesn't evolve with 130 damage. They have a Big Charm. So that's like 210. It's not enough. They got Big Charm. I'm pretty sure Giratina has 220 HP. So we're gonna put the Radiant Venusaur. I don't think we need the Venusaur anymore. We got our Serena, so we should be fine. Serena is gonna help us draw cards. Should we played the boss already though? Are we gonna choose to play Serena for the to get the Giratina late game? I don't think we have a choice. We need to draw cards. We really don't have a choice here. So we can actually retreat with an energy from our hand by attaching to either the Manaphy. We should have attached the energy to the Manaphy on the last turn. If we did that, we could have retreated with that 1 energy and do Amazing Burst for 320 damage. But I don't think we need that much. 240 is enough to kill off the V-Star with the Big Charm because they have 8 damage counters on it. They can choose to retreat to the bench though and then attack with the second V-Star. If they do that, we're gonna need 4 energies to do 320 damage. We're gonna need the Raihan. Okay, we're gonna retreat with the Manaphy and deal with this Giratina for our next 2 prize, and that means both players have the same prizes passing the turn. We need to play, I don't know, we need to knock out another 2 Pokemon, so after that. It is a lot that we need to do after that. Because we got 3 prizes remaining. If we can play Kyogre one more time and then collect the knockout on the Giratina for the final 2 prize with Amazing Burst, that would actually win us the game. So Amazing Burst and Kyogre. I think that's what we should be aiming for. Or we can just do Cavern Tackle. Cavern Tackle on the Greninja. We have no escape rope and no more boss though, so we can't actually choose what Pokemon to target. We have to hit the active. And if we hit the Giratina in the active, it's not going to be enough to knock it out. I don't think it's going to buy us anything, any extra turns. It's going to help us, you know, get more cards from the deck with our Venusaur Snorlax, but it's not going to do anything else. Okay, we got 3 energies with our triple gear, and we're gonna attach all of them to Rayquaza. Oh, we attach the water because we have a fighting in our hand. So that's the useful thing of training card, is that you can actually search for any type of basic energy from a discard pile and put it into your hand, and that means you can choose. You know, you can make sure you're aware of what energies you have left inside the deck, because you need as much different types of energy as you can for Rayquaza to do max, you know, up to a max of 400 damage. But we want to be doing as much damage as possible with Amazing Burst. That's why we need to be scouring, we need to be hunting for those different types of energies. Serena. Of course, we're gonna play the discard. I don't think we can afford to do anything else. We do have 240 damage to deal with the Giratina on the bench. If we kill the Giratina on the bench, that means we just need to deal with the active one. They're probably going to bench the second one though, and Mirage Gate, you know, Rod and Mirage Gate to get their system going back all over again. So I don't think there's any point playing the Serena for the boss effect. Might as well just stay on the bench and charge up Kyogre. Okay, we're scooping up the Klinklang and benching the Klang all over again. We got 2 Klinks and 1 Klang on the bench, and all we need is an evolution if they do the boss, or a rare candy. Okay, we're gonna retreat and knock out the active right now. Let's finish off this Giratina and worry about the next one later, apparently. We should be able to pull off Amazing Surge. If they boss though, we can still do Rayquaza's Amazing Burst on the active. So I think the reason they're not evolving is because they want to avoid losing too many of their energies. If they losted energies and the Rod, they can't actually play the attack anymore because it requires 3 energies. That's why they have Memory Capsule for the basic attack. The basic Pokemon can actually attack. Oh, they don't have Memory Capsule, my bad. They're not evolving. But if they evolve and play a Memory Capsule, they can actually do both tank damage and also play the basic attack. So they did a boss on the Klang at finally not insulting our intelligence. It would be an insult to our intellect if they choose to boss anything else. Well, if they kill the Rayquaza, I don't think it would be that much of an insult. Okay, Cramorant. Oh my goodness, they actually chose to attack with Cramorant. 110 damage is more than enough to kill the Klang, and now we're down to a basic. Should we play our Bruno? Well, wait, we don't have a Bruno. So we're gonna do Raihan right now and rare candy for the evolution. Oh wait, they have a Cramorant in the active. Cramorant means we should be playing Kyogre, right? So let's do Kyogre for 80 damage snipe to knock out the Greninja on the bench. And not only that, we are doing 8 extra damage counter on the active. On the previously active Giratina, and I don't think they're possibly gonna get the third one. If they get the third Giratina and do a Mirage Gate on the next turn, I would be quite surprised. Even with Rods, I don't think it's that easy to pull it off because they are losing so many cards. I think they're playing Pokestop as well. I forgot. Okay, we're gonna Raihan for the water and then search for the rare candy. So we don't need the recycler just yet. Okay, we got just the right amount, I guess. Okay, we're gonna Raihan for the rare candy and evolve it. Level 100, Klinklang. Quick Shoot. Oh wait, they got no Quick Shoot, they got Cramorant and Giratina. No Sableye though. Interestingly, they have no Sableyes in play. No Fantina or Sableye. Why are you losing so many cards then? It would be way more cohesive if you play Sableye with your Lost Box. Or Fantina at least. Cards that require a lot of cards in the Lost Zone. Okay, we're gonna do Grass Energy, attach it to Rayquaza. Oh, we already attached it to Kyogre. Doesn't matter though, we got the knockout. Whatever they put in the active, they're done for. But as I said, they can always pull up a Rod or Clara to retreat onto a third Giratina to tank even more damage before the evolution. So anything can happen and you should always be preparing for everything. We got amazing search to, reduce our opponent's HP, and that means, they got, I don't think they have the tool card to reduce damage. So no Pot Helmet, sorry, not Pot Helmet, no Full Face Guard. Pot Helmet only works for one prize, my bad. No Full Face Guard, and no Gardevoir. No Fantina as well, no Gudra VSTAR. We're safe. Okay, we're gonna play our Rayquaza right now and get the final kill. So this is the turn that we didn't get anything. If we get one evolution though, so we actually need rare candy. We need rare candy and incense. If we don't get the rare candy, we can't do the Klinklang evolution. So we have one last rare candy. I'm not sure if it's inside the deck. Okay, it is inside the deck. We have 19 cards left, so we may possibly not get the rare candy with the Marnie. You never know what Marnie is gonna get you. Obviously, it has a very, very low chance of giving you a good hand, but it's still better than some other cards. Like Shauna sometimes. I don't know about Shauna. Sometimes it's better to shuffle your energies back if you have way too many of them. Okay, we're gonna do Rose Tower right now. Let's get as much cards out of the way before playing our supporter so that we actually get to maximize the number of, maximize our potential of doing triple gear, getting out the Evolution Incense for Klinklang to evolve. So we got nothing. We did get the Ultra Ball, but we have no rare candy. We need the rare candy. We have no choice right now. If we retreat to the bench, we're gonna have to start all over. We have only one recycler. That's the bad thing. One recycler doesn't actually work. You need 3 recyclers. Okay, we're gonna Ultra Ball for the Klinklang stage 2 and hopefully get the rare candy from the double draw. We got nothing though. So we wanted to retreat to the Snorlax to do Gormandize, but they chose to concede because they were expecting another evolution. They were expecting another Klinklang, triple gear for 3 more energies, doing 400 damage. 400 damage is way too excessive. It's like, in excess to knock out a VMAX even. So I think they're trying to prepare for that. Sorry, I think they are, scared of that. That's why they ran away. I get it though, I concede some of the games that I play just because there is just no way out. If there's no way out, just might as well save your time, save everybody's time. Right? You're saving everybody's time. Why not just concede? If you have a good chance though, you should be winning, and if you are given a decent amount of chance, well, you should still make the effort. Okay, here comes a Gengar VMAX deck. They got Gengar VMAX with Houndour. Gengar is actually doing a lot of damage, but I don't think they can win against a one price. We have our Cavern Tackle as well to do a Gengar knockout, a basic knockout if they don't evolve. And also the extra effect of preventing all damage done to our Terrakion. So Terrakion is super cool. Not only do you get to hit for poison and also normal weakness, poison, normal, and lightning. You got so many weakness in your belt. But also you get to do you get to buy that extra one turn for you to prepare the next attacker. Sometimes you may have to retreat and waste the energy, but that's actually still better than just waiting in the active spot sometimes. I'm not too sure though, if you switch to the bench, they can do a boss on the next turn, so I think you should be staying in the active. My bad, I don't know what I'm talking about. After playing Cavern Tackle, you should be staying in the active, but if you want to attack with something else, since you can't actually... Oh, my bad. No. Because after playing the Cavern Tackle, on your opponent's next turn, because the next turn is your opponent's turn, that means immediately after using that, the effect, you are already in the active spot, obviously, because you attack with that Pokemon, and that means that that effect only lasts for one turn, and it's gonna shield you. If they don't play Escape Rope and Boss, they can't kill the Terrakion. So after playing that attack, you can actually decide to do whatever you want on the next turn. It doesn't really matter, but it's just that you have to be aware that you can't use Cavern Tackle if you use it already on your last turn. So prepare ahead of time. Make sure you know that you can't play it, and you know that you're expecting not to be able to use that attack. Otherwise, you're screwed. One small mistake and you're out of the game. Like, I can't stress that out enough. One tiny, incy-bincy mistake, just because meta decks are just way too bogus right now. Meta decks are given like booster shots, and one price decks are just not giving anything. We're not getting any proper supports. I wanted to do Meowstic with this deck, Meowstic with what's it called again, Klinklang, but I don't think it works because Meowstic only gets you supporter cards, and we need Recycler. If we don't get our Recycler, we're done for. It would actually be quite fun to play Level Ball for Meowstic though. I should try that at some point, but oh well. Meowstic is a new support for Stage 1 Pokemons, for one price decks. We have Snorlax, but I don't quite like Snorlax. I prefer Meowstic. I prefer Chinchino, Curlia, Meowstic. We do have new supports now, but not enough, I would say, for one price to go by. V decks are just way much more broken than any one price deck that you're building. V-Stars, I mean, if you knock out a V-Star with one hit, you're only getting 2 prize. If you need 2 strikes to kill a V-Star using a one price deck, might as well just concede, because if you don't hit first, if you don't get the damage in the game first, if they actually draw their first prize before you're able to attack, that means they already win the game. Since you're not able to do a one-hit knockout against a V-Star, there's no chance you have, you don't have a chance, you have no room for slacking off. You cannot actually slack off. You have to draw the first prize first. You have to get damage in the game. You have to hit them first before they draw their first prize. If you don't damage them, then they got the first turn in and they're gonna win. They're gonna draw their prizes much faster than you. They got Star Birth. They can boss anything. They got Shady Dealings Inteleon. They can boss anything. That's just fucking insane. They're forcing you to play Diancie. Fucking ridiculous. I should really go for Diancie for this deck. Diancie would actually help a lot. If you can't do anything, if you have to pass a turn, you can play Diancie, but it doesn't guard your evolution cards though. If you have a stage 1 Klang on the bench, they can still boss that. So Diancie doesn't actually work for stage 2 decks. It only works if you're playing a full basic. It's better for full basic decks, obviously. Lunatone Solrock, but I don't think you should be waiting. You should be attacking every single turn if you're playing Lunatone Solrock. You can't actually afford to waste a single turn since you're not doing a one-hit knockout against VSTARs and VMAXs. Not unless if you have a Raihan with like Choice Belt. I don't think it's even enough to kill a VSTAR because they have that much HP. Okay, they're actually playing Item Lock and the Drapion V-Star for the paralysis. They got one Drapion V-Star to do Star, I forgot what it's called, but Star something actually helps. It poisons and paralyzes your opponent's active. Also placing 4 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon for the poison effect during Pokemon checkup, which is pretty cool. But it only lasts for 1 turn though, the paralysis, so I don't think it's that powerful of a V-Star power. I don't think it has that much value, but the Drapion, the basic Drapion though, can actually hit a lot of Pokemon. It can help you win against it. It is a proper meta card that can win games against Mew VMAX. There's an auto win against Mew VMAX if you have a Rod. You can hit for extra damage. 190 is a lot. You can do 190 damage for free energy against decks that play a lot of Inteleons, shady Inteleon, sorry, my bad, Rapid Strike Inteleon with the Sobbles. If they do Ice Rider with Sobbles, you can actually hit with your Drapion. 0 energy, that's just crazy. You do have that 60 damage recoil though, but it's not a lot. 60 damage, I don't think they can do much with that. If you hit your baby basics on the bench, you should be fine. Baby supports like Bibarel or, you know, Manaphy. You don't want them to collect the prize with Sableye though. If they do Sableye, they may actually get way more prizes and way faster than you think. So be aware not to do the wrong thing against specific decks. When you're matched up against specific combos, like specific decks that play, for example, Sableye or you know, Mewtwo V-Star that can do one-hit knockouts fast, Lunatone Solrock, Regigigas, you have to really think about the strategy. You have to think about how to kill a 130 HP Pokemon if they're playing a Regigigas fast. You have to kind of switch your strategy around and play a different game, have a different sort of game plan to win. To win the entire game. Otherwise, you cannot actually, you don't stand a chance if you don't adapt to the situation at hand. So you have to kind of, switch it up and play a different style if you're up against different matchups. Because the deck can stay the same, but the way you play it can be very different. You can actually play it in a very, very different way. So item lock means we can't play Rare Candy, we can't do Incense, we can't do Scoop Up Net, we can't play any of our item cards. No Recycler, no Rod. We're basically screwed. What are we gonna do? Vikavolt is just gonna do Paralyzing Bolt over and over until they got knockout. We just need to play Raihan though. We got that one copy of Raihan and our energy. If they don't play Crushing Hammer, I don't think it's that bad. Because we can attach 1 energy at a time to satisfy the attack cost. We just need 3 energy for us to do Cavern Tackle. Cavern Tackle is enough to knock out the Vikavolt in the active. If they do a boss though, we may be in trouble. Well, if they do a boss, they actually have to play Super Zap Cannon or some other attack to knock it out. If they knock out the Terrakion with the second attack or the first one, that means we got the knockout on next turn. Sorry. If they knock out our Terrakion with any other attacks other than Paralyzing Bolt, that means we can use our item cards on the next turn. If they don't, then we actually get to kill the Vikavolt on our next turn. Okay, we're gonna play Serena to draw cards right now. Let's discard the water. Try to get our fighting energy into our hand. or a Raihan. So we're basically stuck with a dead hand because item cards is useless. They have Zapdos as well, which is super annoying. They got so many Pokemon supports though. They got Ludicolo, Raikou, Vikavolt. They even got Drapion, VSTAR, and Zapdos. So that's like a lot of Pokemons. Recipe for disaster. Playing too many Pokemons, not enough supporters, not enough energies. It's just a recipe for disaster. They got the Melanie early though, and this speed energy, so it kind of shows that their deck is kind of consistent. If your deck can play cards fast early game, if you can do a lot from the start of the game, is gonna help you a lot, because that way you can slow your opponent down. Not only that, you can draw prize faster, and that means you stand a much higher chance of winning. The game can always change at any point though. They can always do a Marnie and completely get you stuck for a few turns. Like, you can get stuck for 3 turns straight on a Marnie or Roxanne, not getting anything, not a supporter, not an item to get any cards that you need. You would be totally destroyed if that happens. So there's never any guarantee, is there? There's no guarantee whenever you're playing Pokemon TCG. There's just no guarantee in life at all. Whatever you do, shit can always happen. Shit can always go up the fence, and we always need to prepare for that, no matter what. Okay, we got the stage 2 evolution. We got both Klangs evolved on the bench. Now we just need to dig the stage 2 out. If we can get the Klinklang, we got the evolution for enough energy to kill the Vikavolt, but we want to be attaching the energy on the Rayquaza and also the Terrakion, not just the Terrakion, just because we have one last energy remain. We just need one more slot for the fighting, and then we can actually invest on our second and third Rayquaza. Obviously, you need to recycle from the Terrakion. After using Cavern Tackle, you can actually do Retreat and then Recycler to play your second Klinklang from there on. So Retreat, Recycler, and then Triple Gear to get back the energy onto Rayquaza instead of back to another Terrakion. So we only are playing 1 copy of Terrakion and 1 Kyogre, but 2 copies of Rayquaza just because it has way more value against the standard meta right now, because they are playing a lot of V-Stars, which actually is a high HP Pokemon that forces your opponent to draw only 2 prize for a knockout. So it's basically a basic V on steroids. Right, a basic V on steroids that only has 2 prizes for the bounty. So your opponent can't actually knock it out for 3 prize. They have to wait for a VMAX. And VMAXs are quite difficult to kill because they have like 330 HP now. I don't know. This game is like a lot tighter. Okay, let's play a Bruno. I don't know if we should do the incense first. I really want to be keeping it in our hand, but I don't think we need it for this turn though. We should be playing our Bruno already. We got the Recycler and Rod. Again. They keep giving us those cards. Like, Recycler keeps showing up every single hand, every single turn. It's just ridiculous. I know I'm over-exaggerating sometimes. I love to over-exaggerate, but that actually gives me some kind of release, almost. This game is very stressful, super frustrating, and mega stressful. If you are a YouTuber, you would know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just virtually impossible to record way too many wins every single day. It's like a huge challenge, and whoever that can record that many wins every single day must be either a super lucky bastard or a hyper experienced player, or just a super talented smartass. So we're gonna do a boss right now to kill off the Vikavolt on the bench, but we can't play Cavern Tackle because we used it on our last turn. So now we have to retreat, Recycler, and play our ability to get the energies back in the game. We can't actually search for the energy. We have no training card, I don't think, for this game. We do have a training card, my bad, but it's inside the deck. Like the final deck list has no training card because I prefer playing more recyclers. So if you have no training card, you should be playing your stage 2 ability to get the energy back. Onto not just the Rayquaza but also the Terrakion, because we need one fighting for us to do amazing burst. If you don't have the right type of energy on Rayquaza, you can't actually use amazing burst. So you need one fighting, one grass, and one lightning exactly. If you don't have those, you obviously have to attach extra types of energy for you to do more damage to knock out a VSTAR and a VMAX. If you have 5 types, you can hit 400 damage. 400 damage can kill a Gouda VSTAR even with those Rolling Iron buff and Gardevoir VSTAR. Sorry, Gardevoir, Radiant Gardevoir. Okay, we're gonna play a Rod to shuffle back the Kyogre for some reason. I don't think Kyogre has that much value. They have no Manaphy, but we should be waiting to play the Rod with our, after the Rayquaza gets knocked out. So since we played the Rod, I don't think we should be doing the Recycler anymore. We should be saving Recycler for the next turn. Okay, we're gonna do Quick Ball. We have no grass energy. I think we attached enough though. We just need one fighting on the Rayquaza. But the next one is gonna demand a Recycler. If we don't play a Recycler for the next one, if they Marnie us, it's gonna end up at the bottom, and then we are in huge trouble. Okay, let's see what they're gonna do. Vikavolt is gonna do an item lock again if we don't kill them right now. That's why we are doing a boss. Item lock is super annoying. If they somehow get a third Vikavolt and Melanie switch to Paralyzed Bolt another time, we can't actually play our Recycler anymore, and then we can't do Rare Candy as well. But we just need to evolve from our hand though. We can't play Ultra Ball, we can't play Recycler, we can play the Bruno. So I don't know, it's definitely a lot more difficult if they can pull out the third Vikavolt. We just need one last energy on the Terrakion though, because that's the reason we're attaching so much this turn. We're attaching not just the Rayquaza but also preparing the Terrakion on the bench. If they boss the Terrakion and lock the item, they can't actually knock it out. So we chose to play our item cards this turn, but keeping the Recycler in our hand just because they may just play a third Vikavolt. So no more Rare Candy. That means, well, we have no more Klink on the bench, so we should be getting the Evolution card instead of keeping the Ultra Ball in our hand, because they could quite easily lock our item again. We got another Rare Candy anyways. Oh well. We have no Scoop on that. That means if they boss the Klang on the bench, they can actually deny us from doing another Triple Gear. So they're gonna do Ludicolo right now. Enthusiastic Dance for 100+ damage. They're doing so much damage. Electric decks are super fun to play, especially if you lock item. Vikavolt can win against. You can actually win quite easily if you do Paralyzing Bolt with Mew VMAX or even Ludicolo alone, which is quite powerful against one prize decks because that's enough to delay the game, to prevent them from doing Rare Candies if they play if they do Charizard, one prize Charizard, or even Regigigas. They can't actually play their items to get their system running. They can't play Rod. They can't do anything. So item lock is actually helping you a lot against one prize. It's helping you a lot against, if you play against VSTAR VMAXs, obviously you have to do a lot of damage. That's why they have Ludicolo for Super Zap Cannon to collect a knockout. Even against VSTAR VMAXs though, they still need, level balls to get their Drizzile. They still need their, to play their item cards, Cremomatic, Ultra Ball, of those item cards. If they get stuck in their hand, they can't actually draw cards with Genesect. So that's why item lock is a big thing right now. It doesn't really work against Starbirth though. Arceus can search for anything. But they can't actually play Incense. They can't actually get the evolution that easily. If you play your Paralyzing Bolt going second on your first turn, you can actually lock them from playing Incense to get their Starbirth, to get their V-Star. So we actually killed the Raikou for the final 2 prize and won the game against a Vikavolt Drapion V-Star. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy life.